What's going on, gamers? Look what we have here today. We got some Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X reviews. Oh yeah, let's get into this because this is going to get interesting. Are you guys ready? Because let's go ahead and get right to it, right? This is not an Xbox. Says The Verge. Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X reviews. This is not an Xbox. Of course it isn't. Microsoft's first Xbox handhelds are shipping, not fully baked. But of course they're going to try to charge me. Oh, you guys want to do that? Well, screw you then. Let's go down to Xbox era, the ROG Ally. You guys ready? I'm zooming in for you. Is it an Xbox? I do not think so. Please don't continue to be slow. I'm letting you know in this flow. No, I'm not going to do that to y'all, but still. Xbox era. The ROG Xbox Ally. It is not an Xbox. It's a what? $1,000 PC handheld that has distinct Xbox flavor. If you want to come in here being brainwashed and, you know, project your zombie mentality at me, please go ahead. My comments are open. Definitely when something Xbox era is telling you, Verge is telling you, and everybody else is saying, I'm reading his reviews, it's not an Xbox, it's a PC device. What Xbox futures. I can go put an Ubisoft logo on my laptop and future all laptops and desktops and everything on the keyboard. Does that mean it's an Ubisoft, or does that mean it's easier for me to access Ubisoft futures on the PC device that was always a PC device? Yeah, I think so. You know, that's intelligent. So, a capable and extremely comfortable PC handheld. Cool, let's talk about some positive things, but we're not going to do that garbage, with some great design ideas that will bring Xbox and PC closer than ever before. And it's one of the best PC handheld experiences to date. Despite the software effort, though, Windows 11 is still the primary cause of many of the machine's woes. Even with all of the freedom the more open PC platform provides, it's certainly an interesting transitory step for Microsoft and Xbox, but I think it needs a few more updates for the potential to be truly realized. Of course, this thing is just going to come out and it's not going to be perfect. Everything needs some work when it first comes out. So this is what I was trying to tell people. So let's go ahead and go to Resetera right here. I think the Xbox branded has fooled a lot of people's expectations. Perhaps not knowing what these gaming handheld PCs are. Yeah, gaming handheld PCs. But that is what it is. An Xbox branded ROG hardware that packs Windows 11. That's it. It's being tweaked to be lighter and lighter on the performance and battery, as Windows was not historically built for tablet adjacent architecture. But it's a beefy ass machine for the price. And that's what such a hardware costs. I don't think I'll upgrade my MSI Claw for now, but I can see hopping onto one of these down the line, he says. So if we can like pull up Asus or whatever. Let's just go to the site or something, right? Do they have a site here? What does it say right there at the top? Make sure to read. Gaming handheld PC. It does not say Xbox console. It says gaming handheld PC, like the Steam Deck. Can you read? It's right there in front of you. Gaming handheld PC. Are we done with elementary education now? Okay. Toddlers. So let's go ahead and click on Xbox era. Let's go to the Xbox review. We're not going to even go to anything else. We're going to go to what Xbox said. Is this the handheld you've been waiting for? After plenty of teasers, announcements, and several direct hands-on previews, it's finally here. The first ever handheld partner devices between Asus and Xbox, the ROG Xbox Ally and the X. Well, I'll be taking a deeper look at the standard Xbox Ally at some point in the hopefully near future. Today, it's all about more powerful and equally more expensive Xbox Ally X. And this ROG Ally X review, I'll be taking a look at how the device holds up under everyday use, from battery, life, comfort, and of course how the games perform for the average gamer. We'll also be checking out the already seen Xbox full screen experience, which is cool. I've seen Doc do videos on that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I was at Best Buy, you know what I mean? I've got to see it. So I know what it is. Talking to everybody, oh, come on, dude, this is a PC device. Every single body in the store, who said that? Dude, this is a PC, really? Geek Squad, man, those guys, oh, they're just bots. Dude, this is a PC, man. Come on, man, let's not be dumb. We got it in the PC section, man. It's not over there in the gaming section. The Asus said, put this in the PC section. Like they said, gaming, handheld, PC. Play these stupid little games. And yeah, wake up. Not happening. Okay. So, In this ROG X by LRV, I'll be taking a look at how the device holds up in everyday use, right? We see this. We'll also be checking out the already seen full screen experience. Here we go. Handheld hardware, console comfort. Let's get to the good stuff. As someone who already owns an Asus Ally X, the ergonomic improvements to the ROG Xbox Ally X are, speaking frankly, excellent. I've tried a heap of different handheld machines, from the Switch 2 to the Steam Deck and the Legion Go, my original ROG Ally X. The new handheld has them all beat in the terms of overall comfort. I'm spending $1,000 on something, you better be comfortable. I'm gonna slap the hell out of you. Yes, it's heavier than something like a Switch 2 and a Steam Deck, but it feels so good to hold. Yeah, I've held it. It's really nice. Definitely feel like you don't want to have sweaty palms and stuff like that. It has a nice grip to it. But like I said, I'm paying $1,000 plus tax. You better be giving me that. The team have done good stuff here. The new Xbox pad, like countering grips, are super comfortable in extended sessions. That's what I mean. That's what you want it for. And if you are a regular Xbox player, your brain is going to accept and love how it feels overall. There are some oddities here though. New to the device is a dedicated My Library button situated on the right side of the screen, with a dedicated Asus Command Center button on the left. These are all fine and useful, but they're placed above the standard Xbox menu view buttons. I lost count the number of times I accidentally hit the library button when I thought I was pressing the menu, and it kicked me out of the game I was playing, interrupting whatever I was doing. Xbox have also brought their impulse triggers along for the ride, and they work exactly as you'd expect them to. So going down here, now we see he's just giving you everything, the operating system. If you guys just want to look at it, I'm pretty sure you guys know the specs, but just in case, I'll just zoom in for you. You got the Z2 Extreme processor, which is a really good CPU, 24 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte. You can upgrade that, by the way, but I think you'll be fine. 7-inch screen, though I think that's kind of disappointing. No OLED. You'll get your 120, and the 500 nits are actually pretty nice because the Switch is 7.9, so I'm like, I/O ports, you got one USB, 4 Type-C display port. You have a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C support. You got a display port, 2.1 if you want to do display. Power delivery, micro SD, all that. Okay, Wi-Fi 6 to let you guys know. Battery, 80 watts. So you're going to be getting that in the box with the charger stand. Under the hood, there's a pretty powerful handheld setup. We've got an AMD Ryzen Extreme, and it's paired with 24 gigabytes of DDR5 memory and a meaty 1 terabyte SSD, M.2 drive actually, SSD to store all your games. The front-facing speakers are nice and punchy, and thankfully not too tiny either. And as the device has Bluetooth, you can pair your preferred headset of choice to it and listen to your game's audio privately. Cool. Or just use the good old, 3.5 millimeter jack that works too, as we all know about that. The ROG Ally X ships with the same screen on the previous Ally X. It's the same thing. IPS screen. It has no OLED, but it is bright, with the only downside being its size. Yeah, because you would have preferred an 8-inch screen, or kind of like the Switch had, but they didn't. And the whopping great bezel around the edge. I would have preferred an 8-inch screen with the same features, but it is what it is. We've also got an 880 watt batteries we see here to keep these sessions going for a decent amount of time, depending on what kind of game you're playing. He means like indie or AAA, because if you play like Doom Eternal or something, it's going to drain your battery compared to an indie. But we'll get into how it all holds up in a bit. Before we talk about the games, let's focus back in on the interface, which will access them and at other digital storefronts. The Xbox full screen experience, was it worth the wait? Microsoft have made a fair amount of noise about the Xbox full screen experience, as you guys see, it's right here. On these new devices, the intent here is to remove the very worst aspects of the handheld gaming on Windows. They learned stuff from Steam too. The main issue being, of course, Windows itself. As someone who owned the original ROG Ally X, I can speak from experience. Anytime Windows 11 appeared, from the logging in using the god-awful virtual keyboard to various necessary background tasks, sucking up precious system resources, because it's a PC, what a PC does, gaming on Windows 11 handhelds was a painful experience. Windows 11 handheld PC device. To the detriment of the PC handheld market, many PC handheld manufacturers, nobody ever once said anything here about a console or that, created their own bespoke front-end interfaces to ease that pain. But as my father always says, there's only so much lipstick you can put on a pig. The Xbox full screen experience is designed to usher in more consistent and far more console-like way of interfacing and playing games on these type of devices. Initial impressions are indeed rather positive. The intuitive keyboard interface with the Xbox console has successfully made its way across, and the new Xbox home screen is fairly simple to navigate with a controller. Pressing the Xbox Nexus button brings up a compact game bar. As we know, game bar, like on a PC, when you pull up the Xbox app, which is very reminiscent of its console's cousin. This could be navigated by right and left bumpers with a widget style approach that can be customized as you would like. Once you track performance, you can turn on a performance widget, which will attach itself to the game bar until you choose to close it. Once you track achievements, just turn on the widget. That's cool. By default, the game bar came preloaded with irritating things most gamers won't want to see. Yeah, of course. Hey, game bar. Like Microsoft's Game Assist and Copilot integration, they're going to force that in there. You can deactivate and remove these, which naturally I did, thank God. Ace's Command Center has now been fully integrated and provides quick routes for gamers to change the performance profile, control input mode, and various other customizable options directly into it. You can also go straight into the settings with options to connect Bluetooth devices, Wi-Fi, turn off your mic, and enable other widgets should you desire them. From the game bar, you can launch directly into other digital storefronts, be it Steam, Ubisoft, EA, and more. Launching into these shows the PC seams a bit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With splash screens and loading occasionally appearing in a window or very Windows-like interface. Steam's big picture mode is a godsend here and can even have customized animated intros when it first boots up. As well as supporting the inbuilt controller, the ROG Xbox Ally X also supports some touch gesture. Swipe from the left and you'll pull up the Xbox game bar. Swipe from the right and you'll get Windows 11 Notification Central. If you need to interact with Windows, it is relatively simple to do a swipe from the bottom of the screen. This will bring up the Xbox full screen experience version of Task Manager. Here you can see what applications are running and close them as necessary. See guys, all this is PC stuff. I mean, you're gonna do this on a Switch too, because this is a console. And you can also transition to the Windows desktop. Once here, you can change the desktop control mode, desktop at PC, via the Command Central and use the right stick as a mouse. Be warned, if you want to go back to the Xbox experience, you can, but a full restart is required for optimized performance like you would do with a PC. Not just choosing performance and graphics like on a console. No, it's a PC. Now you gotta do the restart to change the PC settings. Restart your PC. All of this is genuinely a vast improvement on what we've had before, but after spending a week or so of testing it, I can't help but feel that this is still woefully inconsistent. It's easy to get lost as you navigate a somewhat confusing grid of clickable buttons. Click. Yeah, mouse click. Made worse by occasional performance issues, it stops responding to any input, hangs entirely. Oh, so Digital Foundry wasn't lying, were they? Yeah, bots. Entirely, that just as you're about to consider restarting, you have to restart to get it to work again because it stops responding. Paying $1,000 for that? Replace all of your button presses in a cacophony of animation at the system plays catch up, so it lags too on button presses. Yes, the performance gains by booting straight into Xbox full screen are there, and yes, the UI is so much better than anything that's come before, and such is very impactful. Regardless, it can't completely hide Windows 11 from annoying you every now and then. Though software, Microsoft are trying to force different UIs and different programs to work together, and the results aren't always fantastic. Let's play some video games. Outside of all the marketing buzzwords and noise, whether or not this is an Xbox, the primary focus should always be on the games. Yeah, whether it is or not, as I tell people, and I try to be nice about it, I say whether it is or not, it's still going to be the same experience. I can call it a PS9. I can call it an Xbox ZF. It doesn't matter. It functions the same way. But of course, people have to be, you know what I mean, project their programmed toxic fanboy behavior onto you because they can't grow up. But it's all shut down now. Everybody's saying it. So what are you going to say now? Made yourself look like fools. But you know what? I think they will still continue to be slow and try to look for stuff like going to talking to the AI. It's like, why are you talking to the AI now? Not talking to human beings anymore? You people are just literally making yourself look way more dumb. And it's like, wow, and way to be a droid now. Okay, I have been both delightfully surprised and a little confused by some of these performances I've seen. Yes, as well as native gaming. It obviously supports remote play as well as cloud gaming. Should you prefer to game that way for your console-only releases? Will you think cloud gaming is going to be amazing for multiplayer on a handheld device? It's not responding well? Good luck, because you're not playing anything like that. When it comes to native games, I've tested a wide variety of different titles, from classic indies to AAA behemoths, and for the most part of the result is clear. This is an impressive machine capable of delivering some surprising levels of performance. For $1,000, if you're not doing that, what are you doing then? One quick caveat, in order to capture direct gameplay footage, I have to have the Ally running into an Elgato. 4K 60 Pro and running the majority of game footage you'll see here at the 17 watts performance profile. And this is likely to be the standard, so you need to plug it up like a capture card. I am no digital foundry, so don't expect deep technical analysis here. I don't, but you told enough. For example, I'm not even sure if I have the capture card, and in effect, another monitor plugged affects performance to any great degree, so bear that in mind. The other important thing to note is that you're seeing a recording of that footage, and it doesn't take into account the VRR nature of the screen of which you're playing. So it's not going to look as good. As you said, playing your favorite games and stuff. You're trying to get that footage. For most gamers, indie games are going to take up the lion's share of the type of titles played on any handheld machine, and outside of some seriously unoptimized outliers. The Xbox Ally X handed pretty much everything I threw at it, with very little that disappointed me here. For any games that are play anywhere that you already own on Xbox, expect things like cloud saves and cross-possession to be the normal. And when you don't have those things, you're going to really miss them. He says, whether you want to play Blueprints, Hades, Shinobi, the Xbox Ally handles these sort of games very well. But it's a dude, if you can't handle any game at $1,000, then I wouldn't know what to say to you, because Nintendo plays those games, no problem. Most of the time, you can even set the performance down to silent, but show me a AAA game. See what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. For a larger, more demanding perspective, the ROG Ally X does surprisingly a good job at playing AAA games on the go. See Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Xbox first-party experiences like Forza Horizon 5 and Infinite. I was able to persuade the Ally to consistently play these games at a fairly decent frame rate on 17 watts performance. AAA gaming is where the console experience starts to falter a bit. This is not a console. It's a what? A handheld PC. It's on Xbox. As such, you can regularly expect to experience things like shader compilation, irritating PC-style notifications, and frankly, occasionally long loading times depending on the game. Now Forza, I believe, yeah, but that's not a next-gen game though. He says ran well. So, however, on the later attempts to test and record more footage, the game repeatedly crashed while attempting to load into the open world, and there was no error explaining it. It simply worked one day and then not the next. At a whopping 140 gigabytes, I didn't really fancy trying to re-download the game. So far, I'm not impressed. It's exactly what I said. Now I can't wait to get these comparisons. They're coming. Get ready. Switch 2 comparisons. All that grifting, get ready. Halo Studios, Halo Infinite runs well once you get into it and can tweak the settings a bit. But again, the PC nature of this handheld rears its ugly head. On every boot of the game, I would be confronted with an error that the game could not find a supported graphics device, suggesting that the GPU did not support minimum requirements. Damn! I look at all these mistakes. What's going on with all that Switch 2 grifting? Yeah, sit down. That's what I thought. And the ROG Ally did not support, it's not even a real dedicated device too. Yeah, imagine if they did their own handheld. Thing would have been a disaster. I had to manually use the touchscreen. Once running through, I was able to get the campaign hit in 60 and it looked pretty nice too. Halo is quite good. This is Infinite though. You run that on a Series S. So if you're not running it well, I don't know what to tell you, because I was running on a Series S back in 2021. Cyberpunk 2077 is demanding open world title that performs incredibly well in the handheld. Optimization efforts from the developer are well documented with the built-in Steam Deck preset, because that was already there. Without frame generation, the game achieves 45, and with Xbox Ally's VRR and 120 Hz, you can, and FSR 3 on, you can get 55 to 60. Nice. But there's a trade-off in responsiveness in how the game feels to play. From my point of view, I'd leave frame gen off on this one and take the advantage of the VRR, because he's saying it's having big drawbacks. Spider-Man Remaster, that's just part 1. It on handheld, you're going to be playing it at 30 frames at 1080p. You can actually drop the rendering resolution to 720p and get 60 frames. I'll be on my PS5 playing it at 4K 60. Its performance is more important to you, and that's a PlayStation 4 game, by the way. Spider-Man Remastered. It performs is more important to you. Obviously, if you're an Xbox fan and haven't yet played any of Sony's games, the ROG Ally X certainly is a viable way to do it. I don't want to play games at 720p, 30 frames, or 60. I'd rather play them at 4K 60. EA's Battlefield 6 is another surprisingly performant game on this capable handheld. Ooh, that's cool. It makes Battlefield 6 on the go genuinely viable option. Initially, I had a number of concerns as the game frequently had problems booting up, including a missing file error message. So what are people going to do about that if they don't know what they're doing coming from Xbox? Because they're not PC to tech savvy. They're going to not know what to do. And we stuck there with an overpriced thing being depressed. and they're going to have to run around and stick with it. You know what I mean? But they're used to playing on the TV. I'm telling you, it's not going to be what you think. While I was able to solve these sort of problems, this may stump a console first class. What I'm saying, they're not going to know what to do. They're going to be lost. With daunting registry edits required to get the game that they want to play running. This again shows the PC-like nature of the device. And I think many console-only players are going to struggle with these sort of problems once I fix them. Battlefield 6 on the go became plain sailing. From a performance perspective, if you are running the game on a handheld turbo mode, 60F may be possible, dumbing things down. So here we pretty much have it. You are being told multiple times here, this is not a console. Everything about this is PC crashing, editing, DDL file era, not an Xbox at all. They told you it's not an Xbox over there on the other websites. Over here on the Asus ROG Ally website, this is a gaming handheld PC. Over here, down here, they say this is not an Xbox. Over here, this is not an Xbox. This is not an Xbox. How many times do you need to see it now? Do you still want to be and project your zombie mentality? Just stop. It's over. Like, comment, and subscribe. AGN is always right. See, I never lied to you guys. Subscribe.